Yes, yes, yes. Wagwan. Shalom and salam alaikum. Now, yeah, so, yeah, I've been watching, what the Riz of the build up for the Tyson Fury, Dillian White big fight this weekend. Yeah, they got a nice, the WBC, probably in order to make even more money, more percentages, have made this like UK belt, which is white with a Union Jack in the middle. You know what? It's quite nice. There've been some horrors. People always, the people always say the WBC belt is the ultimate belt to win, and that might be historically correct, but it's also one of the ugliest things, man. It's really placky looking. You especially look at the 80s one; they were horrible, man. Horrible, like green placky. Okay, all those, every flag of the world was around there. It looks quite good, but it looks quite nasty as well. It's not very classy. You compare it to something like, obviously, the Lonsdale belt, but even the other World Championship belts just look a little bit more grand, a little bit more grandiose. But anyway, this one I quite like. I think the white belt with Union Jack works well. Oh, yeah. So I'm up for that. Now, so we had what's it called, the open workout. Now, Dillian White didn't turn up. Now, a variety of theories on it. Some said, there was a delay. It's not White's fault. Warren organised the flight, whatever. But I don't know. It still stinks a bit, man. White's done nothing to promote this, right? Now, the thing is, right, he is not getting any slice of the pay-per-view, yeah? Because it was all done on percentage, wasn't it? Yeah. So, now, I mean, he's been difficult. He didn't even go to the first press conference. He hasn't really done any press, hardly. Hasn't done a lot of social media interviews. Yeah, he's done a bit more recently, but not much. And you could say, he's got his purse. He doesn't need to big up pay-per-view sales. But I mean, that's just nonsense, man. It's part of the game. In the most fights are not pay-per-view, yeah, and most fights don't involve a cut of pay-per-view. But obviously, people promote it because they're promoting themselves. I mean, what's happened now? Now people think, now the fans are a bit, we're not happy with Dillian. I'm not. I used to be a fan of his. Yeah, I just think, he does his own thing. He speaks his mind. Yeah, he's dug out like a gay and people like that. But, this has really annoyed me, man. And to be honest, I've gone off White, especially the fact that he's, married with a man. He doesn't admit it. Yeah, fess it up, man. And there's some shady stuff that went on in Jamaica and he had to escape. Having a kid at 13 is also very weird. But, truthfully, it seems quite clear. He's the batty man. At least now he is. Yeah. And then there's a story from 10 years ago when he was in MMA and he was training with, what's his face? Rampage Jackson, right? And Rampage says, Twitter, opening 2012, where Dillian White tried to rape him in the showers. I mean, what? I mean, apart from anything else, right? If you were into that kind of thing, you'd expect him to choose an easier victim. Rampage is similar weight to White, yeah, and can fight, and obviously got all the groundwork. Maybe Dillian likes to have a big, have a bit of what's it called? When a guy pushes back, he doesn't give in easily. He could have gone for Demetrius Johnson, DJ or someone who you could just put over and smash in the batty hole. But I guess Dillian likes a fight, so he chooses a bigger man. And obviously we know because of Lamar, aka Dean White, that Dillian likes a big butch black man, with muscles. He likes a challenge when he climbs on top of that man. Yeah. He wants to know he's conquered something big, not just some, weak batty mans. He wants a big butch burly black man who's, but he wants to be the top White. But anyway, it's a bit creepy. I'm not down with that stuff. It's against my, I can't respect that kind of thing, man. It's very bizarre. Yeah. But anyways, so White's lost a lot of respect, really, by the way he's acted. You see a lot of frustrated boxing fans, all over the forums and on Facebook and things like that. Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree. It doesn't matter that you're not making any money by turning up, or it's not necessarily in the contract. I mean, you see Warren. He's like thinking, well, this has never been a problem for anyone else before in the history of boxing to promote their own fight. You're meant to promote a fight because if afterwards you're popular, you up your popularity afterwards, and if you win, you can, or even if you lose, you'll be more known. But White's, I think White, there can only be two possibilities here. Yeah, let's be clear. There can only be two possibilities. Number one, okay, Dillian's just trying to play mind games, and he was trying to get in Fury's head, But look, Fury, I don't think that'll make much difference to Fury. You've seen how he was anyway in a press conference. He don't care. He was laughing, of course, because Frilly and White Knickers didn't show up, and he did his fake stare down. Came out of it quite well. The only person he's really, really pissed off is Frank Warren. He's not that bothered about because Warren's a wrong un. Yeah, even in fact, in this conference, in the open workout, he's sitting there, right? No one's wearing a mask, but he is. You know why? He's part of that secret society, and they're pushing that thing. Only he's wearing that mask. Yeah? Yeah? And it's a sign of being gagged. It's a sign of being a slave. It's a sign of being subservient. And maybe it's a humiliation thing for him as well, but more likely just trying to get other people to carry on wearing their silliness, even though there's no need. But, so we had White, White's, he's just been trying to sabotage. Now, to me, so I don't believe, he thinks it's going to make much difference to Tyson. I really don't. Tyson doesn't care. He gets in his own. It's him. Tyson, what freaks Tyson out is how he's feeling. It's not other people that get in his head. He's either down with the training or he's not. White's pathetic games won't make no difference. I don't believe White believes that. The other thing is, right, okay, we know White is, Hearn's pal, really, and Hearn's done a lot for him getting in fights and stuff. Now, obviously, Hearn's lost the purse bids, yeah, which was less. So you'd think, well, Dillian's shite would be happy, He gets to earn more money, whatever it was, 20% more or whatever, But no, he's continually trying to sabotage. And I don't know, man. I don't want to be a conspirationalist, if that's a word. But what is going on? Is there the possibility that he's deliberately trying to sabotage the event and make it as hard as he can for Warren, to mess Warren around, to ruin his promotion, his pay-per-view buys? He's made no difference in the number of people that have turned up. And listen, man, you've got 95 or 94,000 people turn up. The pay-per-view is going to work well, even if you've got a duff undercard. Although Tommy Fury, who according to John Fury has shades of a young Golovkin, apparently. And even poor Tommy was embarrassed. Clip. But Tommy's on the undercard. I don't know, a few other people, I can't remember. Maybe David Adelaide, I can't remember. But so is White deliberately on the orders of Hearn? Trying to mess with his promotion. Maybe he wants to give Warren a heart attack. I think he's had one before. I don't know, but because Warren is Hearn's only challenge in the UK, certainly. And he wants him out of the way, man. He's the young buck. Warren's the old alpha male, and he wants to get rid of him. He knows Warren's looking weak, but what does White get out of it? That's the question. That's the question. What does White get out of it? Now, could be straight up cash. Could be straight up cash money. It has to be. That's the only thing. That if you want someone to do something for you, yeah, there's two ways to get them to do it. You offer them a reward, usually cash money, yeah, or you threaten them. And Hearn is going to threaten, what's his face, White, really, you'd think, but, I think they're both part of the same secret society, so maybe the orders are coming from different places, higher up. No, you got to do this, man. But then Warren's a part of that secret society too, or at least A1. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be bucking against each other, because they still got that individual, that individual competition. And also, the higher ups might want to humiliate one of them, put them in their place. It always happens, to let them know, no man, you're flying high, but you got to do this. You got to humiliate yourself. Happens all the time, man. You see the patterns. So I'm undecided on this. I think this the latter, because I don't think shite. I think he's been talked into it by his shady lawyer and Hearns. For what reasons, I don't know, but he's been talked into being difficult and sabotaging this promotion. Anyway, so that's to open workout. Now, the open workout, you couldn't see much of it, man. It's obviously White didn't show up, so Tyson did with his shirt off, which I thought was slightly odd considering what his body looks like. Now, we all know Tyson Fury is no body beautiful. I think he was mostly for one fight, I think, Cunningham. But, he's always had that kind of slightly weird body shape. He's got like these long, skinny, bent legs, yeah? And his upper body is big, but by that I mean he's not toned. And he's got these massive haunches, these like love handles, right? And they're what worry me a bit. He had them against Wilder, but I don't know, they seem more wobbly this time even. They seem even more wobbly. And it's not it can't be a good thing to have a body in that shape. And the rest of his upper body, his shoulders, they don't look that big, and his arms not that toned. But that, that's because he's got that flabbiness of it, right? Now, what causes that flabbiness? Now, obviously, one of the things is just, a poor diet, a poor diet. Apparently, stress, weirdly, can cause you to retain fat in that area. Yeah, taking a lot of empty calories, not having good sleep, which can apparently up cortisol and adrenaline levels, which encourages fat storage. I read on some places, I'm not an expert on this thing, but, of course there's a genetic predisposition for people to have a certain body shape, and that's definitely Tyson takes on that fat. But there definitely has to be some diet issue there, in my opinion, I don't know if he has a dietitian, yeah, and we don't expect him to look like Gay J, but I don't know, man. It's just unnecessary weight to carry around. Them big haunches must weigh a stone each, surely. Like, it's almost 2 stone of lard sat on his hips. In the actual workout, everyone's going, oh, you're doing it southpaw. Tyson messes with your head. I wouldn't read anything into it. He can box southpaw, we know that, whether he's going to or not, who knows, man. He looked quite light on his feet. I mean, he didn't do much. He didn't put much effort into it, just sort of bouncing around. Which is fine. He likes to keep his cards close to his chest. I still stick with what I said before. Dillian will I think he'll be outboxed, stopped in the later rounds, between 7 and 10. I think it'll be similar to Chisora, Tyson Fury 2 years ago. And I expect a dominant performance. But you just don't know. But I'm a bit shocked by Tyson's body shape, It definitely looks unathletic and ugly, and it can't be helping him. There's just no way.